Philadelphia, man. There is one dude that people still go to get his opinions, and that is Howard Eskin. Even when I think we had Angelo on. Did we have Angelo on Monday? I think we did. And boy, people are like, because Angelo, he just can't stand Nick. And Howard's like, that's my boy. All right. I can't get this young coaching staff, and I don't know what's going on in Philly, and the only guy that can answer all this stuff. And by the way, before I bring Howard up, I would like to get Howard's opinion on the Philadelphia media no longer doing their job. They used to have guys back in the day that covered the Phillies, like Bill Collin and all them guys from the Inquirer. He would go out there and cover the team and actually tell you what's going on. So let me get this right. Guys drinking a beer in the dugout, which again, okay, now they're all of a sudden piling on. But you knew that story for over a year, and you didn't let anybody know what was going on. Not anybody saying that Nick Castellanos is not an asshole. But that's not the point. The point is you didn't do your job. So nobody in Philly in the media does their job anymore and reports on it, and that these organizations now hold these guys by the short hairs. What in the F happened to Philadelphia sports media? Because the media that Howard Eskin was involved with, those guys would have been blasted from Maine to South Florida. I don't know what's going on there. That's a shame that nobody's doing their job in Philly anymore covering sports. That's what Angelo said too. Nobody's doing their job. So let's go to a guy who did this and took all the heat when he was the afternoon guy and covered that team like a hawk. He is our friend Howard Eskin. And Howard, maybe I'm going to start there. I mean, what happened to your media, dude? I mean, you used to have people that would go into your places and into your dugouts and cover teams. Now all of a sudden they're placating the team. What happened?
They became pussy cats.
That's what Angelo said.
First of all, they didn't have it during the season. That's the joke of this whole thing. So the Phillies kind of try to dirty up Nick Castellanos, and they give it to reporters the reporters think that they're going to get information because they're helping out the Phillies, and they're kind of dirtying up Nick Castellanos. So by doing that, they think they're going to get information. And there's a few guys that do get information, so they just keep on, taking care of them. It's to report it now and not have reported it during the season that they were disgruntled and there was problems. And first of all, there were no problems. The players weren't disgruntled. Those guys get along. They just, nowadays players don't get into the other guy's business and they just get along. Nick Castellanos might have been he was a little quiet, maybe a little strange, but he was not, I repeat, he was not a problem. Did he make a mistake? Yeah, he acknowledged it because he got pissed that he wasn't a 9-inning player. Played all those years, and then the team decided that he wasn't a 9-inning player, and they took him out for defense. So that obviously pissed him off a little bit. His numbers were consistent. They were good, not great, good. I will make a bet with anybody, and I made a couple bets with Larry Bowe when I had him on, that he will have the same numbers as the guy that the Phillies, if not better, than the guy that the Phillies now have in right field. Now, the guy they have in right field now is a better defensive player, Garcia, better defensively. He's going to strike out more times. They're going to have similar home runs. They're going to have similar hits. They're going to have similar RBIs. If Castellanos may even be better. But the Phillies were embarrassed that they mishandled the situation by saying at the end of last season that he wasn't going to be back. So why would any team trade for him? The teams know that, well, you're going to have to release him. You're going to release him because you already said he's not going to be back.
They devalued him.
Right. Well, that's exactly what they did. And they were probably a little embarrassed. They had to be because they got zero for him. They got $780,000 off of $20 million and got not even a a fifth-rate minor league player. Nobody gave you anything for him because they knew you were going to have to release him. So now the reporters just helped the Phillies out, kissed their ass, made it nice, and dirtied them up. And all of a sudden this comes out now, and you didn't know any of that during the season because it didn't exist. It didn't exist. I've talked to a couple of people. It didn't exist. Again, different, maybe a little strange, quiet, but he worked as hard as anybody on that team. He did. I'm going to defend him. I have nothing with Castellanos. I mean, I've talked to him a few times at most. Respectful, but nothing. Doesn't really say a lot, but nothing to gain by what I'm saying. But he was not a bad guy.
Howard, this is an indictment on the media in Philly more than anything with the player. I agree. And by the way, I think in between Tatis and Machado, I think he's going to put up the same career numbers that he always puts up. I don't think he's going to do anything less.
20-some home runs.
I think that's a pretty good lineup the Padres have.
Yeah, 80-some to maybe 90 RBIs.
Yeah.
He's going to do what he does, and his average will be the same as the guy that the Phillies have. But defensively, he's just not that player. But it's just to get nothing for him is just ridiculous. But they dirtied him up. The media dirtied him up because the Phillies wanted them to dirty him up.
Man, that's crazy stuff there anyway. All right. So Howard, let me go over to the Eagles here. This weekend you have you have like the combines. Again, I don't really give a crap about guys in shorts. I care more about the meetings with the agents and with the general managers that goes on there for the entire week. That is really the storyline. And I'll ask you, do you believe that A.J. Brown, there's a lot of reports right now, people are working on contracts. And how about this one? I don't believe people do things just for coincidence. Kansas City just relieved $43.4 million on their cap so that they can make a move to try to make some type of acquiring of a player, because they need players on that. They need players. They need a player.
That's what happens when you're good for years. You go to Super Bowls. You can't keep everybody. You got to step back before you step forward again.
Do you think they move AJ?
I think it's going to be very difficult. And all these social media reports, I laugh at social media. It's not social. It's not media. It's bullshit. All right. That's what it is. It's filling space and content. Like today, as we speak, what's today? Thursday. Lane Johnson's coming back. He was coming back all along. He's working out. He's been posted videos of him working out hard. Think he's working out to go to the grocery store? I mean, come on, give me a break. He's working out because he wants to come back. You don't want to leave the way he left last season. So he doesn't need any more money, but hey, listen, a lot of players feel you can never have enough. I mentioned that there's questions about Landon Dickerson. I was told that he talked to somebody that I know very well, and Landon says, I'm coming back. Now, he may be hurt during the season, but Landon Dickerson will be back. But all of a sudden, somebody puts it on social media, and somebody else picks it up, and it's like, I mentioned that Lane Johnson was coming back, but it's just like all of a sudden now it's big news. Big news. He was coming back. What was he, like I said, what was he working out for?
Yeah, but what does he come back as? I mean, he's going to be 36 years old.
Yeah, he's not the same player.
Okay, so.
Not the same player. But he's still.
Yes.
Right now, he's better than anybody else that they have.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So he's better than anybody else that they have. And if you get 10 to 12 games out of him, that's a better 10 to 12 games than you're going to get out of anybody else. I said this, and I look at this, and I said, when I had John Harbaugh, and I said it to him, I says, I think you're going to win the division either this year or next year with the Giants. Now, to do that, that means the Eagles are not going to win the division. I don't think that would be 3 years in a row. That's very difficult. to win that division, the NFC East.
No way.
I don't think the Eagles are going to finish in first place in the NFC East because they're just not as good. You can try to pick up some players, and if you trade AJ, do you get anybody that's as good as him as a wide receiver to replace him? Now you can start over again and tell people this guy is going to be really good and we'll be good with, draft a wide receiver. There's so many good players, with speed and that are out there.
Yeah, but Howard, here's what my problem with that take would have been is this. So if you move off of AJ, you drafted Devontae Smith at number 10.
Correct.
The following year, you made a trade for another wideout because what? You thought you didn't think that Devontae would ever be a number 1?
Who was the wideout? Was that Dotson? That wasn't Dotson, was it?
No. I know that he was taken 10th, and then you guys traded. Remember, you traded one of your number 1 picks. You had 2 that year, and you used one of them and traded it to Tennessee to bring AJ in, and that was
that was the trade. Okay,
right.
And
you traded to bring AJ in. So, do you not think that Devontae Smith could be a number 1 wide receiver?
No, I think 2's better than 1 in that offense. You have 2 really good wide receivers. They were trying to help the quarterback. And they did when he threw because AJ will run. They'll both run post, but they'll run. His best passes are down the sidelines.
Yes,
because they're not going to be intercepted.
That's right.
So those are 2 players that are successful with those routes. Devontae with his speed, AJ with his speed and his size. So it just makes it better for the quarterback because at that time, they still had a good running game because Swift did a good job with the Eagles. And I think he might have been the running. Yeah, and Sanders and Swift. But they probably didn't know that they would have had Saquon Barkley. So the reality is they just got more offensive players. Offense, you can talk about defense winning games. Defense won a game in the Super Bowl because Drake May just choked. Let's face it. He's a young guy, wasn't ready for that stage, and I think he's going to be a good quarterback. But he just choked. He just choked in that playoff. And Howard, then the pass rush was unbelievable.
It was a great defense, and no doubt that John Schneider, their GM, has done a hell of a job at building that.
Is he better than Howie Roseman?
He's got 3 NFC titles, he's got 3 NFC titles and 2 Super Bowls too. And he came out of the Pete Carroll era. I think they're kind of compatible with one another.
Yeah,
but you
don't hear about him because he's in Seattle.
Yeah, that's right. I think
he's good. Whether he's better or as good, he's very good. He's very good.
And they get their drafts right.
Yep, exactly right.
They do a good job in drafting here. So, all right. Well, let me ask you this question because you are a gigantic Nick Sirianni homer. So I will ask you this question here.
I think he's a good coach, and the criticism of him was uncalled for, disgraceful, over the top. The year he won the Super Bowl, after 4 games, he was going in and they were ready to get Belichick, who's without Tom Brady is just a stiff. And, they always watch him. I'm sure he's still, I bet you he's cheating in North Carolina. I'm just guessing, allegedly. I wouldn't be surprised because they're not going to check like the NFL checks.
True pro on the air right there. Always dropping the allegedly in there. All right. Well, let me ask the question.
Well, yeah, allegedly.
Okay, let me drop this little nugget in here then. Do you think Nick Sirianni has made it undesirable to coach in Philadelphia if you're an assistant coach? I can't think all these stiffs they hired and all these guys that are nobodies were the number 1 choices that they wanted. Chris Cooper, he was blown out in Minnesota.
I know, they were not. And Mannion was like the 6th, at least no better than the 6th choice. But I don't think it's because of the coach.
Okay.
I think you come and take a job to get your next job when you're not the head coach. When you're an assistant, you're the guys that aren't coordinators When they come as a coordinator, they hope they're going to get a head coaching job. When you come below that person, you hope you're going to get a coordinator's job. And that happens when you have success. Now, with this team, and I mentioned this, and this is where I think they're going to struggle a little bit. The offensive line we know is not as good. You have Lane Johnson coming back. That's great. Landon Dickerson, I'm told that he's coming back. That's great, but they're not the same players. Will Cam Jurgens come back the way he was 2 years ago? I don't know. He's banged up and he's hurt. Is their offensive line as good as it was when they won the Super Bowl? The answer to that question is no. All right, I'll answer the question. And I don't think anybody would disagree. So now with the offensive line not as good, that means your running game's not as good. Saquon Barkley's still a good back, but he's got some years, and I think he's still good, but running backs don't last forever, and they have a shorter shelf life than most players on the offense. So they have a shorter shelf life. So will he be as good? Be good, not as good. Now, with those two things not as good, now the quarterback might have to throw more than the desired 21 to 23 passes. And if he does that, he's already got to build an excuse. No, I've had 7 offensive coordinators in 8 years, counting college. And, it's a new system. And, it's not easy. He's already got to build an excuse, And so I hear it every year.
Flag that, please.
Well, yeah, but you can't use an excuse every year.
Yeah.
You can't. You just got to go out there and play the game. Do you think other teams with success don't have assistant coaches that leave? They all leave because they're all looking to get better jobs.
Sean McVay gets guys poached off that roster all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so it happens. And you just got to just go out there and just be better. Now, it's a new system. Is Jalen Hurts going to be able to adapt to the new system? So and when a coach comes here, if they don't have success, then the coach looks bad because the moron fans blame the coach. It's always the coach. It's never the player. And then the media climbs on to that narrative because they want the players to talk to them. And listen, if they don't talk to you, they don't talk to you. It's not the end of the world. You're not going to, what are you going to have, a sleepless night because a player won't talk to you because you didn't kiss his ass or you criticized him? Come on now, stop. You can't worry about that. I'll tell you, it was hard for me early in my career to criticize a player, not because I wasn't worried that he wouldn't talk to me. The next time I went in the locker room, was I going to get crap from that guy? And I was in the locker room the next day. If they wanted to say something, they said something.
You know what, Howard? I always felt this way, having been on both sides of the mic, that I think they respect people who are not full of shit more than people that are full of shit. And sometimes people that aren't, they're more abrasive. And you know what it is? Players are too. And so, here, just so you know, if a player doesn't like a coach who's full of shit and he wants a straight shooter, players want straight shooters. You may not like what you want to hear, but I've always felt the guys that I know and the guys that I've always been around, hey, sometimes the guy says something. Look at LeBron and Stephen A. Smith. They go back and forth on stuff all the time. But you know what? Again, Stephen A. Smith is not saying anything. LeBron's padding his stats now. He's the ultimate stat patter now. He's never going to win the argument on Michael Jordan and him. That ship has sailed. Everyone knows it. And all you're doing right now is you're hanging around. You'll never change the narrative, man. And so Stephen A. Smith is right. The guys, longevity-wise, he's great. But to put him ahead of Kobe even, bro, you're not even ahead of Kobe. Let alone ahead of Michael Jordan.
He's no higher than 6 or 7 all time, and that's high. I still put Bird ahead of him.
Yeah, totally. Bird's better.
Yeah, I put Bird ahead of him. But but he's not in the top 5. He's not even close to the top 5. But the reality is, Stephen A. Smith, he just talks out his rear end, and then it's easy to rip LaFraud because he's so insecure. He's so insecure, and he's always looking for attention. It's just like the 23. Does he still have the 23 on his jersey?
Yeah,
because he played 23 years. Well, that 23 is really a Michael Jordan number.
It's a rip at Jordan.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Get out of here. And for the NBA to allow that, for an individual to put a number on his uniform, Adam Silver ought to resign to allow that. You can't let the players already run the league, and now you're letting this guy run. What's to say that the next guy who has a great career decide, wait a minute, you let LaFraud do that, so why can't I do that? I mean, it's total
NBA's
nonsense.
Unwatchable right now here. Let me ask you this. I got a nugget for you. Ready? On March 15th, Howie Roseman's contract is up. Obviously, they love the guy, but
Jeffrey Lurie does, yes.
Okay, so my question would be, when does it get to a point when Howie does this? Let me go out and be a free agent, and let me see what team would want me to come and help them like a Theo Epstein did when Theo Epstein won a world title with the Red Sox and won a world title with the Cubs. Why doesn't Howie go out there on the open market? Wouldn't you think that he would become the highest paid general manager in all of professional sports?
No. You know who the highest, when you said all professional sports?
Yeah.
You know that other, well, Howie's not a fraud. Howie's done a good job. The fraud with the Sixers, Daryl Morey, he's getting close to $15 million a year. Is Howie going to get $15 million? So, no. Howie's quietly, I'm not going to say who it was, I thought somebody might purchase a team, and Howie was trying to, at one point, kind of a little softly get into that situation, but the guy never got a team. So will Howie leave? No, not unless he gets a piece.
You think he retires an Eagle?
As long as Jeffrey Lurie's here, yes.
How about if the kid takes over? Because the
kid is kind of running a lot.
The kid's more involved now. You see Julian being involved in
he's involved, but
coaching hiring.
Yeah, but he's young. He's a smart guy, obviously. But Jeffrey still calls the shots when there's a decision like that to be made. He kept Howie when he wasn't in favor with a lot of things. So Howie will get he's already getting a nice paycheck, and he'll get more money. He will get more money. And
Howard, do you know if he's the highest paid GM in the NFL? Because the GMs don't.
No, you don't see that.
They don't put that money out there. They don't put that out there publicly and how much the GMs make.
I don't know what the top GM is making right now.
I think that guy down in Houston is making $6.5 million, Nick Castellanos, because they got him from New England. Remember, he has 4 Super Bowl rings.
Howie could get $6 million. I think he's making $4 million now.
Yeah, something like that. I heard.
Yeah. So he could get that. And why would he leave? He's got a lifetime job with the Eagles.
Well, say a guy like Woody Johnson, who's struggling mightily there in New York, and Woody Johnson comes up and says, "I'll tell you what, I'll make you the highest paid general manager in all of pro sports. I'll pay you north of $15-16 million.
That ain't happening.
We'll make you the highest paid guy that there is, and we'll give you complete autonomy on being able to run this organization."
Yeah, but then
he's always coveted that job,
Well, yeah, but then you're not going to get a coach. You may not be able to get a coach because the coach wants to have input in those things. So are you going to get a good enough coach? John Harbaugh, and I don't know this, I'm just assuming that he has tremendous decision-making in personnel.
That was part, from what I understand with my friends in the Giants, the number one thing was for when Harbaugh got that job is that John Mara, who's ill and who's ill with cancer right now, number one thing was that John Harbaugh wanted autonomy over Joe Schoen, the general manager of the New York Giants, and that he has say over personnel and free agent decisions. John has that. Now, remember, he didn't have that when he was in Baltimore because that was Eric DeCosta and Ozzie Newsome.
And he had the hammer to do that.
Yes.
But if you allow a general manager to come in to be that person, then a coach is going to say, I can't make any decisions. So you're going to get with the Jets, if using the Jets as your example, would they ever get a great coach? They still need a quarterback, man. And it's just so.
Supposedly they're floating, they're flirting around with Kyler Murray,
who's not good enough.
Probably not.
No, it's not good enough. It's just not good enough. And it's hard to find that guy, but you need
Howard. I don't think
somebody to give him.
I don't think it's hard to find. I just watched Sam Darnold win a Super Bowl. I think it's hard to do what Howie did, is build a roster.
Yeah, but Sam Darnold was the third or fourth or fifth pick in the draft, right?
Yeah, he was, but that was his fifth team.
Okay, but sometimes you don't make it. There's players that has happened with. I mean, Daniel Jones is a better quarterback now. Too bad he got hurt. Than he was with the Giants. So it depends on who the coach is. I guess the system that is where the coach adapts to the player. That's what the Eagles do with Jalen Hurts, and that's worked for a while. I don't know if it's going to continue to work, but no, I think Howie's locked in here.
Let me give you a couple more here.
Unless he gets a team like Seattle's going to be sold. Obviously, they're up for sale. I mean, that's not a secret. If the new owner decides to give Howie, but you don't need a general manager. But if
I see what you're saying. If they give the guy 2%,
a piece of the team, 2% is a lot of money. Yeah,
it is. Oh my God. Well, look at what the owners sold. Jeffrey Lurie just sold 6% of the team, and he just got $8 billion for it or something like that.
Who did?
Jeffrey Lurie sold like a percentage of the team. He got an equity owner to come in. It's a minority share he sold.
Yeah, right. Jeffrey Lurie did, but I think it's under $1 billion. I think it's a little under $1 billion.
Okay, it was like 900 million something. I know it was.
Yeah, but it's a guy that's got no say, so it doesn't matter. It's just found money. But the reality is,
but to your point about having a percentage, if I get a percentage of the team and I'm the owner,
and who wants to do
money
that
coming in every year of my life,
and that's not. I don't see that happening right now, but I think the only way Howie Roseman would leave. He's got created his family knows people in Philadelphia. He's made a home for himself. And sometimes you have to move, but his kids are still young. I don't know if you want to move the kids now, but we're getting way, way down the road. I don't think he's leaving. I don't think there's any way he's leaving because Jeffrey Lurie will take care of him.
How many more years do you think Jalen Hurts is the starting quarterback in Philly? Wait a second, folks. I think we got technical issues going.
Yeah. Oh, did you not hear me? Here, let me give you that number again.
Oh my God. Oh my God, man. Boy, to really miss your ass on the radio, man.
Oh, yeah. Well,
outside of
radio in Philadelphia.
Hey, by the way, outside of your
kind of
kid,
mediocre.
That station's a stiff.
What's that?
Outside of your kid, that station's a stiff.
Yeah, it's become a boring radio station. And more you see that people realize that radio is not the future. It's the past.
It is.
And it's just, what they need in advertising dollars. The numbers don't support it. And now stations are trying to put half of their show on not social media, that the streaming. The YouTubes and I guess that's what you call it, streaming. So on YouTube, but that takes away from the ratings. So when they go out to the advertisers to sell, well, wait a minute, you didn't. Well, I went. I went 15% more. Well, did you give me 15% more audience? No. Yeah. Well, our costs go up. Well, so do my costs go up. So there's no argument anymore. Just because they're the Eagles and Philly station doesn't work anymore. That narrative doesn't work. It's just too much money for what they deliver, and it's the same bullshit all day.
Howard, what's
long.
wrong? What's wrong with WIP and sports talk radio in Philly now? In your opinion? By the way, a guy by the name of John Mamola watches our show, and he works for
the guy
Barrett.
Barrett. Yeah, Barrett.
He works for Barrett. He
who
was
it
a
is.
program director of mine when I was down in Tampa.
Oh, really?
WDAE
Yeah,
for-
I see his stuff.
And he
I read
watches the
Barrett
show.
every day.
And the
Yeah.
last time that you were on talking about media, he posted it. What do you think is wrong? What do you think is wrong with sports talk in Philly right now?
Well, I think it's sports talk in a lot of places, but you asked me about Philadelphia. There's some good people there, but it's a lack of talent. And it's become here's the model. Two people. I remember when I worked 25 years by myself, and that, not that it couldn't work. It's not desirable anymore. Yeah, well, it did work for me. On AM, I was number one on the market for close to all 25 years.
Right? 610, right?
Yeah, 610. And then I actually did the first show on the FM too. And then that's when I was done after 25 years. So it's just not enough talent. There's not enough talent. And they've created two people, and I don't know what consultant's idea it was.
That was Chernoff's idea. That was Mark Chernoff's idea to put
at FAN.
Together. You know why? Because they did it with Mike and the Mad Dog. Chernoff told me he ran CBS, if you remember right. He was like the head of CBS and all.
I remember. I know Mark Chernoff.
Yeah. Mark tried telling me he wanted to put me with somebody, and I'm like, well, if I'm going to run the Titanic,
Mark's a sharp guy. Mark's a sharp guy. I get it. I thought he was a sharp guy.
Well, he's a sharp guy, but he and I just.
Well, you didn't see eye to eye.
You know why I didn't see eye to eye? Because he wanted to put a stiff with me, and I said, I'm not doing a show. And you know where they wanted to put me? They wanted to put me on, and the program director that's now all of a sudden like some sort of creep. That was at WIP. He's a creep now. Something like really ugly happened with
Tom Bigby. You're talking about?
No, the guy after him.
Oh,
the program director.
Oh, Andy Bloom. Andy Bloom.
Yeah, so Andy Bloom was going to hire me to do a show right after Angelo, and I had auditioned and everything. I got emails still that I was going to be brought in, and then all of a sudden I had to talk with Mark Chernoff. And Chernoff and I had gone back and forth, and he goes, I'm going to put someone in with you. And I go, listen, if I'm going to hit the iceberg, I'm going to hit the iceberg. I'm not going to have him hit the iceberg for me. Let me go down. No, okay, we believe in pairs and we believe in teams. I go, why? Because you put Boomer and Carton together and you put Afternoon with Dog and with Mike. I go,
well, I mean,
I never thought that way.
Well, wait a minute. Boomer and Carton were two talented people.
No.
Okay, Russo and Francesca were two talented people. Yes. So you had talented people together. Now, I think the premise of what they tried to do is good cop, bad cop. So you have a debate before you even get to the listeners and the people and your audience. So you have a debate because you want to debate because that's what it's all about. It's just, banging heads. And now but everybody knows that they don't believe, most of the times they don't believe what they say anyway, because it's just, well, I mean, they talk about before the shows, they have these meetings. Well, I'll take this side, and why don't you take this side? Well, I don't really believe in that side, but that's all right. It'll work for the show. So you take a side that you don't believe, and that's what they do. That's why it doesn't work anymore, because it's good cop, bad cop, and to be adversarial with whoever you work with is supposedly the way it's going to work better. And that's the problem. But there's not enough talent anymore, because you don't really have to. In sports talk radio, they're not looking for guys with talent anymore. They're looking for guys that are inexpensive, that'll just run garbage out of their mouth, and it's so phony and so fake. The one thing that I always believed in, and maybe because I was there I didn't do I did sports talk in the 70s.
Yeah.
So on an FM station. So I did it, and I learned that, hey, listen, just be yourself. You don't have to be nice to everybody. Just be yourself. And it worked out. It actually got me a television job because they liked the fact that I had opinions based on real information, not this garbage that they just throw out there now. So I knew that was important, but that doesn't exist anymore. I think you can inform, which now is boring to sports talk radio, but you can I always believed I could entertain while I informed because I had strong opinions based on fact. And that's why all these players respect me. And that's why I think I've been lucky enough, knock on wood, lucky enough to be able to get great guests on my show because I got to know people and they saw me around all the time. They trusted me. They believed me. If they told me something off the record, it was off the record, but it gave me some background. So I knew all that. These guys, you'd have to give them directions to get to the ballpark or the arena. I mean, they need a map. It's crazy. And the only time they ever talk to them is if these players are paid to be a guest on their show during football season. They pay a lot of the players. I think they pay most of the players.
Yeah.
But it's just, but that's not the way it should work. You should be honest. It may piss people off, but to go back and beginning of this and answer your question, why is it not good enough anymore? Because there's not enough talent, because they don't know the right way to do it. There's some people that do. My son's pretty smart, but he plays this little game too. Just throw crap out there, and if it sticks, and just piss people off. But whatever the case may be, that's just what it is. Again, there's some talented people there, but there's not enough to sustain all the sports talk they do. And now they hire a lot of part-time people because it costs them less. The company is in debt they were $2 billion in debt. Now they're when it was sold, 51%. Now they're only $300 million in debt.
Biggest mistake that company ever made, Howard, was when you guys and I came over from Entercom and they ended up letting CBS buy them. It destroyed the entire stock. It destroyed the entire fabric of what like Entercom and what you guys were doing. You guys were so good, man. I mean, and then again, the two really, if you think about it, sports talk radio, you had WFAN, you had the station up in Boston, the Sports Hub, and you guys. If you look around the landscape of sports talk radio, maybe DAE, the station we had 14 shares when I was on down there. Other than that, finding like 14, 10 shares, having passionate sports fans. I mean, there are very few stations in the history of sports talk. WIP was the first. FAN was the second. WEEI, I worked there as well. The Sports Hub, as I said, maybe a station to score in Chicago. Outside of that, though, Howard, there's really not a lot of places that had a lot of talent.
No,
there were a lot of sport talk was not really all that great. And when they consolidated, that's when it all happened and went south. You guys never went 24. You guys were always 24/7.
Yeah,
you were local talent. You didn't bring national guys in.
No, because they didn't connect with Philadelphia. Philadelphia,
they didn't know they didn't know your fan base.
Yeah, a very provincial town. So it's just not the same, unfortunately for them. Not for the world that we live in of streaming and podcasts and all those things.
Do you enjoy doing this now? Do you enjoy this?
Yeah, I have fun. When I do a show, I really have a lot of fun. It's a lot of work because I'm basically my own company. You have a company behind you, but it's my company. So I get the advertisers. I don't need a lot. And I don't want to clutter it up with a lot of advertisers. I want people that I know that they're good. I know that they support it. And that's the most important thing. And then the guests, that's me, because I just think when you ask somebody to be on your show, if you ask a producer, a lot of times it's easy for somebody to blow you off.
I never ask a producer to ever get. I do 3 shows now. I do a radio show in Tampa, and I do now for Sports Grid. I do a show on the weekends. It's a TV show, and I always contact these people myself because I have personal relationships with each and every single one of them. I would never have anybody ever contact you without me contacting you first, because I'm not having that. Because I'm not having anybody, as you would, I'm not having anybody ruin my relationships with people.
Well, that's why when I had, you think if a producer got into John Harbaugh after he was named the Giants head coach, that's just the most recent example, I would say. Even John Calipari, I had him on too. If I had a producer get in touch with those guys, I don't know. But I know John Harbaugh, I've got to be friendly with for 25 years now. And he's a great, great human being. Forget about being a terrific coach. He's a great human being. Can't say enough good things about him. Sincere, honest, not a bullshitter.
I know Jim
well. Yeah, I don't know Jim. I met their parents at the Super Bowl, but I don't know Jim really at all. But the reality is, when I asked him, 15 minutes later, I got a text back. Yeah, no problem. And he hadn't done anything for the New York media yet, just the news conference.
I bet that went well.
Oh, they had well over 100 requests. But I mean, I had a relationship with him, so I knew him. But if I had a producer, the point is, if I had a producer for him or John Calipari's a Hall of Fame coach. Arkansas has a chance to go to the Final Four. They're good.
I think they're good too. I think the Razorbacks, I think they have a great shot to get to the Elite Eight.
They almost beat they were on the road. Was it Alabama last night? Was it Alabama?
I think it was Alabama.
Yeah, they went to double overtime.
Yeah, they're good.
They're really good.
He's gotten away from one and done a little bit, but he
knows the guys, but they're going to be there. But hey, listen, you're not coming here. You're going to get paid. But if you're coming here just for the money to go to the next college, next university, don't bother coming here. I don't want you. I want you to be committed here. And if it's after a year and you're going to go to the NBA, that's what he builds them for their future.
I want to ask you one last one here. Do you miss radio? And do you ever want to right the ship on what happened at the end on your tenure? Because to me, I think you should have had an opportunity. Angelo's even said it too. And I know even Mike Missinelli and all them guys have said it. You should have had an opportunity to go out at least the way and give kind of a way out the door.
I'm going to tell you right now, they're two-faced. There's a bunch of people in that company, and I've got names. And at some point, I'm just going to, hopefully it's before, I don't want to get ill. I shouldn't even say that. There'll be a time.
You're not sick, are you?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I'm not, thank goodness. But there'll be a time where I'm going to out the people that were stone cold phonies, two-faced, liars, allegedly. So, but I haven't mentioned any names, so it's just,
you're good.
Liars. They did me wrong, and they had no proof, nothing. And I'll say this: I had an attorney, and the suit was going to be $5 million, and I would have probably gotten
a settlement.
A settlement of probably, maybe, $500,000, but I didn't want to go through 2 years of sitting in court and going through different things. But they would have had to testify. And what did you have on them? Well, we didn't really have anything. I got people that I can identify.
You think these alleged people made shit up about it?
No, they didn't have, they kind of, I guess they filter things to different people and it gets out there. Did they make it? No, they had no evidence of anything. They had a couple of people complain, and one guy who backed somebody that complained was an absolute, he's a bad human being. So I've got all the people lined up who didn't do the right thing. And I was done wrong, but did I want to fight it? No, hey, they were broke. Understand, Odyssey was broke. I was the first of 500 people in 2025 that were laid off. Did you hear that number? They laid off 500 people. No, excuse me, they didn't lay him off. They fired him. Even the owner got fired.
Yeah,
because
David
once he
Fields.
sold, that was the end of him as the CEO. So they were broke, and they still are in deep, deep debt. They're trying to scramble their way through, and we're the Eagle station. Great, okay, knock yourself out. But the reality, they did me wrong, and I tried to move on because I just wanted to move on, and then the podcast idea became more and more of a reality. So to answer your question, I would have continued to work there. I would have continued to do what I do. I know people said that they have said that they do miss me. They miss a person like me or me. I'll say that at that station. And
Do you miss radio?
You know what? After
That's
this,
why I went back and did Tampa, is because
after this, do I miss radio?
I miss radio a little bit.
Yeah. I miss radio. Do I want to do 4 hours of bullshit every day, 5 days a week? No, I liked it because at the end I was doing a few days and I was guesting on different shows, and that's the way to do it. But they have muddied things up so much that with that company, they wanted me to agree not to ever work for that company again, which I think is against the law. So if I ever went back and sued him, that's against.
They made you try to check that box that said you can't work.
Oh, yeah, I did.
On your exit papers, you were supposed to check that. Yet
I did.
Why'd you check that?
Because I just wanted to get out of there. I just wanted to get, and I don't think I had the greatest advice for the attorney I had. Yeah, he just wanted to get out of it too, because once we didn't sue, there wasn't enough money in it for me. I got a settlement. Okay. There wasn't enough money in it for me. Okay. So I got a settlement. It's not like I didn't get anything.
Okay.
But so I checked that box, like, would I really want to work for that company if that's the way they treated me? So that's the kind of the way I thought about it. But to say I can't work, there's stations that are part of that company across the country that have no problem with me. And would I want to work in radio somewhere? Yeah, I still have people across the country call me up to be a guest on the show. But would I like to work for somebody? And it's not even about the money.
Well, now you could do the stuff from your house too, I mean.
Yeah, well, now at the way things are.
I do a radio show in Tampa from my home. I mean, so
yeah.
And so, like, I don't have to be in Tampa to do that show. So I do that there, and I missed it a little bit. So I wanted to go back and do it because Howard, like you, I mean, I was the second generation after you guys. So I was on radio for 30 years. And for me just to not do it, I'm like, yeah, shit. By the way, I love what I'm doing now because, we have to evolve, you and me. We have to all evolve into this.
Yeah. I mean, I like the area. I mean, like the Tampa area. Not that I would live there, because with the Phillies in Clearwater, it's right down the road, and I know people in town.
You don't know how many Philly fans, like I'm talking Flyer fans, I'm talking Eagle. When the Eagles came this last year to play in Tampa, the entire stadium was Philadelphia Eagle fans at Raymond James.
Well, yeah, but they go everywhere. So that's not the point. The point is, I got to know people, and I know people at the executives at the Hard Rock in Tampa. So, that I've known for many, 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 many years, and they're just people down there that I got to know over years. I started going to spring training when I was a kid. My parents used to bring us all down. So, a lot of years that I was going to spring training.
It's a great facility. That Phillies facility in Clearwater. I told you, I got my Dick Allen baseball signed by him there. And Frank Kona, I told you, he goes like this. Dan, meet me over at the Clearwater facility. So right after my show, I get off the air, and sure enough, I'm sitting there, and there's Frank Kona. Frank Kona goes like this. He goes, here's Dick Allen. Larry Bowa was there, and I'm sitting there, and I'm going, Greg Lazinski, I think it was Alumni Day or something. Schmidt was there, and all I cared about was wampum. And I saw him. I go, Dick Allen, you were my
Yeah, I
childhood
mean, I
idol.
knew Dick. He was a different kind of guy. He knew my name. I knew his.
You guys booed his ass, they said when he was there.
Not me. I love the guy. I know his son. Every once in a while, I'll text his son, Richard Allen. I guess it's Junior.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, it's just I loved Richie Allen. I still call him Richie Allen because that's when I knew him as a kid. But the point is Clearwater. I knew the area, know the Tampa area. Yeah, I would. There's places and I know people in the Tampa area, in the Clearwater area. So would I do it? Yeah. Yeah, I would do it. I don't know that I do it 5 days a week, but I would do it. But there's got to be
Hey, if you want to do a show there, man, I'll make it happen. They pay pretty decent.
We're at the Tampa station.
Yeah, it's a 50,000 watt station.
What's the frequency? 820. Wasn't the one at 9 something years ago?
970 is WFLA. That's the news.
Oh, okay.
I worked at 620 WDAE.
Okay.
And now they've just gone to 100,000 watt FM station, but I worked at 620, and 620 you could hear it in New Orleans. I was doing 14 shares in the mornings by myself in Tampa. And get this, I was the biggest tool bag.
Are they 24 hours sports?
Not like WIP. WIP's local 24/7. They've got like Dan Patrick in there, and they've got like I think at night they have like Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah,
like
okay.
WIP, it's 24/7 all night.
So when are they local live? It's
I think 6A to 6P. They've got some guys in there, but they're looking. I know they're looking for some people.
I would think about it. I would, just because I could do it from my home.
Yeah,
I could do it from my home.
Plus, you'd be an all-star there.
Wait a minute.
You would.
I'm an all-star. I'm an all-star everywhere.
I know, Howard. Here's the deal. But wait a minute.
I'm kidding. Wait
a second. I'm gonna leave you with one last thing here, though.
Yeah.
How many more years is Jalen Hurts going to be a quarterback in Philly? I will see you soon.
Here, this many years.
Howard, I appreciate you more than you know, my friend. Thank you so much, man.
You know what? Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Okay. The fans in Tampa, the Tampa Bay, they're not the Devil Rays, they're the Rays now.
Right.
The Tampa Bay Rays always seem to have a competitive team. Not as competitive now as they used to be because they had good people in the front office.
Correct.
Selecting talent.
Andrew Friedman was there. He's now in Los Angeles. He's the Dodgers general manager. So now he has an open checkbook. So he's using hundreds of millions of dollars. When he was in Tampa, I used to tell him he's using nickels and dimes. So
so Todd Bowles is the football coach.
Yes.
I'm friendly with Todd because it goes back to the days when he was a coach at Temple, believe it or not. And he was with the Eagles for a little while.
That's right. He was with Bruce Arians.
Okay. Right. And Bruce Arians, I stayed friendly with. I'm trying to think did they hire an assistant from this area?
Josh Grizzard.
Oh, okay. I don't know him. I have friends.
So Josh Grizzard now works with the Eagles. He's the pass game coordinator.
Oh, that's right. He came up. Yeah,
he came up.
Who did Tampa hire?
They hired a guy, Zach Robinson, who's their offensive coordinator. The guy from Atlanta.
Okay.
All
right. So I don't know if there's any. Is there special teams guys? Is that Danny Smith?
It is.
Danny, I got to get his. I have a number for him, but I don't think it's the right number anymore. Danny was always cool with me. Danny's a good.
Do you know Ed Schneider used to come on my program because when I had Bobby Clark on, Bobby Clark would come on my program and he introduced me to Ed Schneider when he was alive. Would come on my show. Those Philadelphia Flyer fans used to fill the arena. Do you know how bad it got? It got so bad that the Tampa Bay Lightning came up with a rule. You could not wear an opposing team sweater
in the lower
bowls because every time the Flyers played, the Flyers would dominate the lower bowl, and you thought you were playing at the Spectrum.
Mm-hmm. which is kind of interesting. Yeah.
Massive
Well,
Philly fans there.
yeah, Tampa doesn't have any connection with Philly. I could be a Philadelphia connection
Well, there
for
was an
them.
afternoon guy by the name of Steve Dumick who did
I knew
after
Steve. Steve
yeah,
knew me.
passed
Yeah.
away, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But he was born in Philly.
Yes, that I knew him. He worked at another station there too, I think. He was with a couple of stations there.
Well, he worked with me at WDAE, and just so you know, so I worked there for 14 years. I was doing morning drive for 14 seasons. I was the morning guy, and every single week we would have a staff meeting. He'd sit at one end and I'd sit at the other end. So I don't know of how you and Angelo were, but I must have said 4 words to him in 14 years because I couldn't stand the guy. He hated me. And every time but it made great radio.
That's 3.5 more words than I said to Angelo in all those years we were together.
Hey, and that's what I said. Ray Didinger goes, I go, you were in the middle of those two guys? He goes, you should see our meetings, how they were back in the day with
Right.
how we would get in there and those two guys would be in there. Howard would be in there just like, I'm not doing any of that. I'm not doing any of that.
Listen, all I try to do is be good for the listeners, whether they agree with me or not.
Howard, they said you were an AJ Brown kind of host when you were.
No, I got along with the people, but on the air, people thought I was a bad guy. I mean, I'm just opinionated. That's all. I mean, it's just whatever.
Well, but what people don't realize is that the truth hurts.
Yeah. Hey, the truth will set you free.
Absolutely.
Just remember that.
Howard, thank you so much. I'll catch up with you again, my friend.
Yeah. By the way, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have Charles Barkley on my show next Wednesday night.
Oh, wow. Charles Barkley. Is he the best? Is he the biggest personality in Philadelphia history, athlete-wise?
Probably because he's so personable and he's so unfiltered type guy. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would say there are a lot of nice guys.
How was Mike Schmidt?
He was great with me, but he was a quiet guy. And Mike said to me one time, I'll never forget this. I had the wrong personality to play in Philadelphia because he was so quiet and withdrawn. I knew his mom and dad, just like his dad. So that's just the way he was.
How was Bobby Clark?
Bobby Clark was good. He got pissed off. He was general manager one time when I questioned a signing he made. He got pissed off. We get along fine. I see him once in a while now.
How about Hextall?
Hextall and I, I've had differences with all of them. But then in the end, if I sent Ron a text message, he'd be great. Which team is he with now? I don't know which team he's with, but he was obviously with the Kings for a while.
Yeah,
as an executive, but he's with the team now. But yeah, Ryan Hextall and I got along. We laughed. I mean, there was times we always laughed, and there was times he was pissed off at me.
Man, I thought he was. I you know what? I always thought that he was a decent executive, but I really thought that he. I never really thought that at the end of the day. I really didn't think he was good enough. I'll tell you what, the goaltending has never been the same since he left, though.
Oh no, nope.
Just right. He was the assistant general manager in Los Angeles. I don't know where he is right now.
No, I don't know where he is right now, but he was. I'll never forget him in they lost to Edmonton in the 80s. I forget, was it 87 or somewhere in there?
Yeah, he won the Conn Smythe in a losing effort.
Yeah, he was really, really good. It's just
what was Reggie like?
Reggie
White.
Reggie was great. When I say great,
did you think he was anti-Semitic?
I never sensed that, but he was always great with me. I still stay in touch with his wife periodically. Because they were both great people. She's terrific. He was great. He was always so nice.
The owner accused him of that, and I always thought that because Reggie was a religious guy.
Because the owner wasn't going to sign him. That's what it came down to. And so he wasn't going to sign him because he didn't want to spend the money.
So he He kicked
Yeah,
his ass on the way out the door. Is that what he
I
did?
guess, yeah. But Reggie was always what a good human being he was. What a good human being.
What about
Uh,
Randall?
Well, and I had our differences because I wasn't a big fan of the way he played quarterback, but we get along fine now. If we see each other, very civil. He knows. I mean, I busted his chops about the gold shoelaces and all that nonsense that he used to, because it was more than football with him. But obviously physically talented, but he probably could have gotten to the Super Bowl if the kicker would have been okay in Minnesota. But he became better when he left here. But yeah, Randall, now we had our challenges, but I was always there. He was never not cooperative and didn't want to talk to me. I mean, there's a lot of guys there that there are guys there that busted my chops, and then after they were done playing, they realized, you know what, you were just doing your job.
Did you get along with Merrill Reese?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Merrill's fine. Merrill's Merrill, but does a good job. The one thing that I will say, he and Mike Quick, they will not overly criticize, but they
No,
will
they do.
criticize.
I've listened to them broadcast.
But they will
He's more
criticize.
of a critical. He's got more of a critical tone on the air than what he does when he comes on my show.
I know, yeah, because he won't do it there, but he does it during the broadcast because it's emotional. But yeah, Merrill's good. I'm no. Hey, listen, I did. I have a history with a lot of people. I did stats and spotting for Merrill in the 70s for Penn football.
Wow.
When Harry Gamble was the head coach of the Penn football team. I was a kid trying to get into sports.
That's crazy great. How about Harry Callis? How was your relationship with
Harry and I were great friends, really great friends. Always so nice. I still stay in touch with his son, who just had a birthday.
I know his son well. His son used to be with the Rays, and he was a play-by-play guy, and that's how I met his dad.
I worked with it. The only person that worked with Harry Callis in the booth and his son in the booth was me. I did the 9th innings of home games when I was at the station that carried the Phillies with Harry and Richie Ashburn.
Wow.
And Todd Callis, we did a spring training game. They need me to be color on the cable station down there with Todd Callis down in that cable cable company down there that carried the Phillies spring training games.
How about Tom Brookshire?
We were good until I wouldn't let him on the air when a guy wrote a book about he and Summerall treating 4:00 games like it was cocktail hour. So yeah, he wrote the book. Who was it? O'Neill was the guy's name, executive producer, I think, at CBS. Wrote a book about that.
Angelo said he started doing radio with him with Brookshire, and then Brookshire got out, and then Tony Bruno came in.
Well, Brookshire was there when he had a piece of the station, didn't have to put up any money when when Spectacor owned the station. Ed Snyder owned it. So Brookshire was, but he didn't he called because he wanted to challenge this guy, but I didn't want to ambush the guy. So Brookshire got really pissed off. He was kind of an executive at WIP in the early days. Didn't know a damn thing about talk radio, but really nice guy, really good guy, but didn't know anything about talk radio. But he got pissed off at me because I wouldn't let him on the air. Terry O'Neill, I think, was the guy's name, executive producer at CBS Sports, and he wrote a book where Summerall and Brookshire treated the 4:00 games like a cocktail hour.
Who was your favorite guest?
Well, in my years, Muhammad Ali when he was still boxing.
Oh, wow.
I mean, he was Muhammad Ali.
So he'd get on the air, and Frazier was obviously still alive back then.
Yeah.
So
he was training in Deer Lake, which is in Pennsylvania.
You must have talked to Frazier too, right?
Yeah, it wasn't as good an interview, but I knew Frazier and his son. He had trouble. Muhammad Ali was just, I mean, he was Muhammad Ali. I've had Jack Nicholson on the air. I've had Gene Hackman on the air. I've had a lot of people. It's just when you think about all the days where it was easier to get those guests, but Ali. Back then we didn't tape anything. The technology was. I wish I had the Muhammad Ali. I had the mob boss on with me, Toey Merlino. when he was the mob boss, alleged mob boss, as he says.
You know, he sells hot dogs or something, allegedly, or something.
So, but I would say, Muhammad Ali, because he was worldwide. He was Muhammad Ali.
Hey,
How much better
Howard,
can it get? How much better can it get than
Howard?
that?
So Jimmy Johnson used to bring all these boxers in, like Julio Cesar Chavez. He would bring in Hector Camacho. So one day he would bring us to our practices at Miami, and so here comes Ali because Angelo Dundee had his gym in South Florida. Angelo, he shows up with Angelo Dundee. There's Muhammad Ali. There's our entire Jerome Brown. We're all sitting there. We're all looking at him. The guy's my idol. And so, like, all the crap talking we did back then, our teams, we wanted to be Muhammad Ali. He's up there. He's talking to us, and he still had everything rolling. And man, what a tremendous. Then he invited us down to the gym. He had been retired, but then he gets into the gym. He starts boxing. He beat, if I'm not mistaken, he beat Liston and won down at the Miami Convention Center. So he had some sort of event.
That's the one with the famous picture of him standing over him, I think.
Yeah,
right?
he beat him at the Miami Convention Center. Yeah. And we went down there. All of us went down. And anytime he would come to practice, he got on our sidelines a couple times. And then Angelo, before he passed, he gave me a book. Like it was a book of pictures that Ali had painted. And I didn't really think about it for a long time. I opened it up, and there's signed pictures that he had painted, Muhammad Ali. It's one of my prized possessions that I have today.
Yeah, I have some other.
I never interviewed him on the radio. I did Angelo Dundee, but George Foreman, by the way, was one of my closest and dearest on radio guys that I would get on.
I've had him on too, but nobody. Muhammad Ali at the time was Muhammad Ali.
Yeah,
it was truly unbelievable. And I've been to functions with him. I've been to award luncheons with him. I was at a birthday party of his. I was invited. And he was sick at the time when we had the birthday party, but everything up here was working, obviously. But what a great,
Did you ever do any events with Frazier or anything? Did you guys ever? No, nothing.
No, he didn't have the
chops,
the cachet.
Yeah,
he didn't have the cachet of Muhammad Ali, but he was a great fighter. But he didn't have the cachet.
I would have thought the stuff at the Spectrum, like stuff like that, he would have done stuff there, but I guess not. The only thing I remember going, one of the very first Wing Bowls, I remember coming down for that thing, for the Wing Bowl back in the day, Howard. Hey, I went to those Wing Bowls, man. They were absolutely incredible. You guys used to get 25,000 people into that place. It had to have been one of the greatest radio promotions of all time.
Yeah, and then it started to get old, and they started to have problems with legal problems with
probably started getting too sleazy and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
Right. It just it ran its course, and it was fine. It was, but yeah, it was. it was different, to say the least. It was different.
But it was a benchmark of the station, right?
At one time, yeah. There was a lot of things that they did, but it was Super Bowl Friday every year. And I didn't go to many of them because I've been to 42 Super Bowls. Yeah, I've been to 42 Super Bowls.
Radio Rows, right? All right, brother. Right. You have been absolutely. Hey, by the way, tell the folks, Charles Barkley, right?
Yeah, pretty much locked in for next Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern
time.
And
then Saturday too. I see you always go.
Saturday, I'm on at 8:00. Yeah, I'll say this. I think a guy that everybody wants. He was a caller, and I thought he was dead. He may now be in witness protection. I don't even know, but I think I'm going to have him chime into the show on Saturday.
Do you use your callers as much as Angelo did?
What do you mean use them?
What I mean, to me, they're content. They're like, if you got a really great caller,
if you can have fun with them. Yeah, if you can have fun with them. And I used to hang up on them more than other people did, called them nitwits, morons, and dopes. And it's just, and they graduated to dope in a lot of cases. So yeah,
Folks,
did what I
you
did.
can see, you know where I got that from in my early part of my career.
What's that?
I rip everybody too. And so, like, I call people stunads and you're a loser. I go, just so you know, when Howard was doing that 40 years ago, 30 years ago, I heard him do it the first time when I was down in Wildwood. And I heard you on the air going, this guy's the biggest idiot I've ever. Man, I thought that was gold.
It was what it was. It just, but you know, a lot of people took that as a badge of honor.
They do. I know they do.
It is. It's all good.
I got you. Hey, brother, let me let you go, man. You've been awesome with me today. Thank you so much. We'll make sure you check you out. All right.
All right. You have a great day and a better day tomorrow.
One last one to give me one last shot at it. How many years is Hurts going to be the quarterback here in Philly?
All right. Here we go.
Hey,
wait a minute, you didn't get that? You didn't get that?
I think I got it. Thank you, my friend.
All right, I'll see you later.
You got it. That is the great Howard Eskin. Absolutely. I'm so